In Russia and Central Asia, there is a quote-unquote game taking place on a social media site called VK.com. The game goes by several different names. Most commonly, it's called Blue Whale, but other names for it include A Silent House, A Sea of Whales, and Wake Me Up at 4:20 a.m. The game is fairly simple. The player simply signs up, and then they are assigned an administrator who will give them a daily task to complete for 50 days. Some of these tasks are fairly simple, such as waking up at odd times or watching horror movies, but the tasks slowly begin to get more sinister. Eventually, these tasks will tell the players of the game to inflict harm on themselves, and on the 50th day of the game, the administrator will instruct the player to kill themselves. Although the game sounds insane, it may actually be having some type of impact on people. An investigative newspaper called Novaya Gazeta implied this game may have caused at least 130 suicides. However, this may not be completely accurate. More on that later. Regardless, the police do believe some of these suicides may be connected to the Blue Whale game. Yulia Konstantinova and Veronika Volkova are two possible victims of this game. They both committed suicide together by jumping off a 14-story apartment building. What's unnerving about this, however, is that shortly before this happened, Yulia posted a picture of a blue whale on Instagram. She also left a note saying "end" on her social media page. Her friend Veronika also wrote, "Senses lost, end." It's important to note that if these people are victims of the game, then it probably wasn't the game entirely that made them do this. These people would regularly post messages on their social media page, such as, "Do you feel that you gradually become useless?" It's evident that they were already depressed and possibly suicidal to begin with. If they killed themselves because of the game, then the game was just something that contributed to everything else they had been dealing with. There are several other cases of suicide that some people believe may be connected to the game. In one case, a 14-year-old girl threw herself underneath a commuter train, and a 15-year-old girl jumped from the 5th floor of a flat in Siberia. These cases haven't actually been proven to be as a result of the game, though. One interesting event that happened was a school director telling the police that he received an anonymous call stating that a student joined a group of death and was planning on killing herself. Police did end up finding the girl, and she explained all the tasks she was given, which included self-harm. Although she didn't actually obey these tasks, some people are worried that others may have. A correspondent from Radio Free Europe wanted to see how all this worked, so they created a profile on VK.com pretending to be a 15-year-old girl. This is a transcript of a conversation they had with one of the administrators of the game. "I want to play the game. Are you sure? There's no way back." "Yes. What does that mean, no way back?" "You can't leave the game once you begin." "I'm ready. Carry out each task diligently, and no one must know about it. When you finish a task, you send me a photo. At the end of the game, you die. Are you ready? And if I want to get out? I have all your information. They will come after you." The first task the correspondent was given was to scratch F58 into their arm. They tried to fool the game administrator with a photoshopped picture, but they must not have done a good enough job because, after sending the picture, the administrator never responded. All of this sounds very sinister, but according to Snopes.com, this game may not be all typed up to be. This game really began to pick up popularity when a Russian news site known as the Novaya Gazeta mentioned that 130 children committed suicide between November 2015 and April 2016, and most of them were part of the same social media group. Because of this, they assume most of these suicides must have been linked to the game, but that isn't all that accurate. Teenagers who are suicidal are likely to seek out the same types of social media groups. It isn't necessarily the group making them kill themselves, but rather, they were already going to kill themselves anyway. Even though no suicides are yet to be directly linked with the Blue Whale suicide groups, the Blue Whale groups definitely do exist. This is a picture of a Russian teenager named Rena Palenkova, who killed herself shortly after posting this picture. Not long after, this picture was spread through the internet, and certain social media groups would spread the rumor that she was part of a suicide sect. Later, these groups even created ARGs to promote themselves. One of these ARGs is called Insider Project, and can currently be found on YouTube. The creator of the Sea of Whales group said he didn't actually want people to commit suicide, but that he actually created the Blue Whale game to bring more traffic to his page. Just because the Blue Whale game hasn't been completely proven to actually drive people to suicide, doesn't mean that we shouldn't be taking suicide groups seriously. There really are groups like this that do exist that attempt to drive people to suicide. A 21-year-old man named Philip Budeikin was arrested for creating 8 suicide groups between 2013 and 2016. According to the case against him, 15 teenagers committed suicide and another 5 were rescued. Whether the Blue Whale game is causing suicides or not, it's definitely important to stay aware of stuff like this so people can't be negatively affected by it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the flip side.